Hello and welcome to our class today. Actually, today we are going to go through the whole HTML and CSS class. So first we will begin by the VS Code, the installation process and everything. So actually this is the VS Code, but before you start using it you have to download it and you install it. So we're just going to get started with that process. First I'm just going to so when you want to install it, let me just show you where you go. So you go to the Google browser and then you just search Visual Studio Code. This is what you search, and then you're going to get this link, and then you click on it. Then you, if you're using Windows 11 or 10, you click on this one. If you're using maybe let's say Debian or Ubuntu, Mac, you click on this one. So and then you're going to download. So once you download, this is what you will get. Now once you get that, so the installation process, see the setup has detected that Visual is currently running. So we already have the Visual Studio Code, that's why it's telling you all that stuff. So you just go ahead with the installation process, then you will get into here. So once you open the dashboard, so this is what you will have. So you will have this point here. So you will have the file menu, edit menu, selection menu, view menu, go, run, what have you. So we're just going to install the extensions. Click on this one here. So the kind of extensions we install, things like open in browser, this one here, so you can see I've already installed it. The next one is open in PHP. It's this one here. So you just look at the extensions, the icon, the extensions icon, so to be sure what you're installing. Next one is Bootstrap extension, Bootstrap extension pack. So it's this one. Look at the icon, it's a white and then it has a gray icon. So you just install this one. It has 8 extensions under it. See this one, extension pack with 8 extensions. So we have things like Jet, Bootstrap, Food Awesome, whatever, all these powerful Bootstrap. Just when you scroll it down, you'll see all the 8. See those extensions. So when you install here, all of them will be installed. So next is HTML CSS support. HTML CSS support. HTML CSS support. So this one here, as you can see, it's already installed, but you can actually it's this one, not this one. So we can install this one, just this one here, HTML CSS support, this one. So this is the extension you're looking for. Okay, next, now once you install all those extensions, there's another one for going live. Yeah, some web developers will use extension for going live. They're actually a live server. This one, you can install this one. It will help you when you're actually going live after you've done your coding and you want to see what you've done. So that one here. So actually we are done with the extensions. So the next part is you come to file and then you actually ensure that this autosave has a check on it. But so when you first install the extension, you will see that this one does not have a tick on it. So you just check like that, so it has a tick. So every time you're coding, there's going to be a check mark on it. So the next part is we're going to go to our desktop here, and then we just create a folder. Just create a folder. If you want to create a folder, go to your mousepad. The mousepad is that space where your dragging your hand to be able to move this cursor where you used to move this cursor. So just go to the right part and then right click, then go to new, then folder, like that. Then we can say coding lessons, or let's call it HTML CSS, just like that. So HTML CSS is our folder. So you can see that's our folder. We've created it, it's here. So let's just place it here so we don't confuse with the other folders. So we're going to come here to, now we want to open the folder in the VS Code. So we just come to file and then open folder, and then we look for the folder, our folder. It's on desktop, the desktop of this one here. It's here. So HTML CSS, just select it, then we open. So once it opens, you hear it's going to ask you if you trust this folder, so you just say yes, and then you move. So after opening the folder, you see the folder does not have anything. So if you want to start coding, there are some icons here that you need to familiarize with. There is this one here for new file, this one here is new folder, and then refresh or collapse or whatever. So this one, we use this one when we want to create a new file. A new file means maybe a page of a website. Maybe you want to create a home page, about us page, like that. So when we are getting started, so we will just start with simple things like headings, paragraphs, like that. So simple headings, something like a heading. So we're just going to go heading heading.html. okay, you have to specify the language, the coding language you're using, for you to be able to actually tell the VS Code which language you want to code in. So if you don't specify the language, like let's say just write heading, it's not going to see this part here, is not going to change. But if you do .html, it's now going to put there an icon for HTML. If you do .css, it's going to put there an icon for CSS. You see that? So we are going to do HTML like that. Then you press enter on your keyboard. So when you press enter on your keyboard, this is what you're going to get. So we're just going to collapse this one. So let's just collapse this. Okay, so that we can have a bigger working space. Okay, so we have a bigger working space now. So first, what do you do when you have already opened the file? So the next part is you actually activate the HTML tags. So how do you do that? You come to your keyboard, on computer keyboard, and then you find where your shift button is. So you press shift and then 1 at the same time on the keyboard. So we just want this exclamation mark. So it's like when you're typing your email on you're typing your email, and then you want to enter at the @ sign, this sign at. Remember, the same way you do that when you want to enter the @ sign is the same way you enter this exclamation mark. So this exclamation mark is on number 1, so that's why we are doing shift 1. The same way you will enter the @ sign, you will do shift 2, or wherever the @ sign is located in your computer. So we do shift 1 and then we press enter on the keyboard. So it's going to bring about all these tags. These are HTML tags. So we're just going to change this title. Let's call it heading, like that, heading. So inside the body tag, we have 6 types of headings. We have H1, we have H2, we have H3, we have H4, and H6. H4, 5, and 6. So H1, you just type H1 like that and then press enter. So let's say, for example, we have a heading here that we just want to do introduction to HTML, like that. So let's say this is our heading. So we're just going to copy this and then we go with it as we progress. So next we have H2. So I like using small letters. So we paste in our title. We've copied, so we're just pasting as we go. H3, like that. We go to the end, H4, we paste it inside, go to the end. H5, we paste it inside, then we go to the end again. H6, then we paste it inside. You see that? So these are your headings. So we want to see what they look like in the other part. When we open in browser, what does the client see? Maybe somebody is coming to your website. What are they going to see? They are not going to see this. They're going to see you come here, and then you can actually click this one, open in browser, or you can come here and then you right click, then you click open PHP or what have you. So this is what you're going to have. This is HTML, introduction to HTML. This is H1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the difference is the sizes. See that? Good. So we're going to go back again, and those are now headings. Assuming we now want to do paragraphs, we do the same thing. We go to our folder and then we create another file for paragraphs.html, like that. So we're going to activate the tags, shift 1 to bring about the exclamation mark, and then we change this for this one. We change it. We have paragraphs, like that. So inside the body, the tag for paragraph is P, just like that. So that's the tag for paragraph. So let's say, for instance, we want to copy and paste tags, maybe files on somebody's website. So let me just check my website. Maybe the home page can use. So this is my website. So let's say, for instance, we want to copy some paragraphs here, like, yeah, we want to copy some paragraphs here. Let's copy, like, let me go to the blog section. You can get some blogs. So we have this particular place now. Assuming we want to enter these paragraphs, just want 3 of them. So we're just going to copy this one here. Control C. I've just highlighted. If you don't know what I did, I just highlighted. You go to the mouse pad, and then you can highlight by just double clicking on the mouse pad. Yeah, and then you can right click on the mouse pad and then copy. That's the long way. Then the shortcut is you just highlight like this, and then you hit Control C at the same time on the keyboard for you to copy this. So when we come back to the code, then we just paste. You see that? So that's our paragraph. So so the next one, we can just enter P again, that's the tag, and then we come back to the website. We can copy the next part. Maybe this is what we want to copy. Then we come, we paste. Next, we come to copy again, and then we copy, and then we come back to the VS Code, and then we paste, like that. So those are the paragraphs. So if you want to see these paragraphs in you want to see maybe these paragraphs in the browser, so what do? You just come here, right click, then you open. So it's going to open the paragraphs. You see those paragraphs? So this is the first one, this is the second one, then the third one. So those are how the paragraphs are going to go. So next we have I'm just rushing through the basics, so we can actually start now moving with the CSS and what have you. So we have another one we call lists.html. So lists, we have 2 types of lists. So first, let's activate the HTML tag, shift 1, like that. So here is just write lists in HTML, like that. So we come here, and then so a list, before you do any lists, you have to actually specify the type of lists that you're actually entering. Why are lists important? Lists are important because we will use them when we are now creating a navigation bar. Yeah, the navigation bar. Navigation bar, if you do not know what a navigation bar is, let me just show you what a navigation bar is. You see this one here? This is the navigation bar. So we will use lists when you are creating this thing here, this navigation bar. So let's just go back. So we have two types of lists. We have ordered list and unordered list. So ordered lists are those types of lists that have numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4. When you're writing your blog and then you're numbering your points 1, 2, 3, 4, that is an ordered list. And then if you're using bullets, that is an ordered list. So let's start with ordered list. So the tag is OL. Press enter on the keyboard. Then you can open up this by just pressing enter again. So, and then you enter list item. List item, the tag is LI. Press enter. So when you write and then you press enter, it's going to give you the opening tag and then the closing tag. The difference is the closing tag has a / just after the less than sign for the closing tag. So inside here, this is where now you enter your list. Let's say for instance we are working with shop items, like let's say bread, another item, let's say salt, another item, let's say we have sugar, another item, let's say we have another item, let's say we have maybe we have books, another item we have like pens, like that. So these are our shop items. So the next type of list is an ordered list. An ordered list is the tag is UL. So we enter the list items. List item number 1 is bread. List item number 2 is salt. List item number 3 is sugar. List item number 4 is books. List item number 5 is pen. So we have those lists. So if you want to see what you've done, just come here and then you right click and then you can open in browser. See, those are the lists. So they don't have any styling because this is just HTML. So they don't have any type of styling. So we just working with HTML first and then we will move to CSS. So list, that's the next one. The next one is forms. So let's do forms.html. So first we activate the tags and then we change the title here, forms. So we come inside the body tag and then we write forms, form, like that. First you have to enter tag, that tag called form. This is where you enter. The action here is for what do you want to do with the form. If somebody enters their details, what do you want them to do? So we enter here. Okay, just leave that first. What you do there, once you enter that will handle that later. So here let's enter. So we have inputs and labels for forms. So the label is that maybe something like first name, second name, email address, telephone number, and what have you. And then the input, that's the box where we actually enter the information. So first, when you're starting with the input, we enter, okay, we enter label first, like that. So just come inside here where the cursor is blinking, between the greater than less than sign, that's where we enter. You just enter, maybe let's say first name, like that, first name. Then you come at the end, then you enter again, you enter input, like that. So we have types of input. Are there 6 really? We have input text, input for telephone number, input email address for the email, and then no, input email for email address, input radio button, like maybe you have you're doing a survey and you just want people to choose maybe one option, like which county do you come from. So for a Kenyan, you cannot come from 2 counties. You can only come from, either you come from Nairobi or you come from Kirinyaga or you come from Thika, Kiambu, or you come from, yeah, whatever. So the county that you come from, it only gives you one option. But if you're doing a survey and you have something like how many phones, how many types of phones have you used in your life? You see, somebody has used Nokia, he has used Samsung, so they will check different options. So for that one, you use something like a checkbox. So we have input radio for only one option if you're doing a survey, and then we have input checkbox if you want somebody to select different options, and then we have input tel for the telephone number, input text for the text, input email for the email, and then we have lastly input, it's a text area. So there are 6. So this one is text, just leave it the way it is. Next we have a label, so move like that, and then we have last name. So we have input, it's still text. So next is maybe we have next we have a label for, maybe let's say we have email address, and then input will now not be text, it will be email. Okay, so we're going to change the input to email like that. So next we have label. So let's say we want to enter a label for telephone number. Then input will be tel because it's a telephone number. So lastly, let's enter text area. So text area, just text, then you select area. So this is what you have, name, ID, and what have you. So for the text area, we usually enter the columns and the rows. So we'll just write columns, enter. So let's say the column is 30, and then after that we enter rows. So this serves as width and height. So let's say the row is 10. So when you come and then you see what you've done, just click like that. So this is what you will have. You see that? So it's really arranged in shambles, but that's not a problem because you've not added a break line tag. So we just want to add some break line here. So the tag for BR to break the line, break line, like that up to this point. So when you come back and you just refresh, this is what you will you see that? So it's aligned very beautifully. So this is just HTML. It's looking weird because it doesn't have any styling, it's just plain black and white, but it will look nice when we now start using the CSS, now adding the aesthetics and the beauty functionalities. So you actually don't need to worry about anything. So next is we've done forms. Now let's do some tables. Let's do some tables. .html. So first you activate the tags as usual, and then you change this part to tables like that. So inside the body you enter table tag like that, and then inside the table we have table rows and table header. Table rows, table header, and table data. So for the heading it will be table header, but all that will be in a row, table row. And then the body of the table, it's table data, and then it's going to be in a row also. We don't have columns here, we just have rows. So we are going to start with table row tr, then inside we enter the table header. Let's say for instance we have a header like serial number. We have another one like another one is maybe let's say name. Next we enter another table header like next is address. Next, let's say it's a table for school. You're entering content for students. We have course, and then we have maybe let's say results, like that. So next, if we have something like, now we want to do the body. Now the body will also be inside the row, but it will be inside a table data, like that. So here we enter details for one student, the serial number for the first student, the name, the address, the course, the result, everything. And then now we enter the next student, because they are aligned in terms of a row this way. They are aligned this way in a row, not in columns. So that's why we are doing that. So we have details for serial number, name, address, course. So we just say this one is serial number 1. We enter table data again. The name is maybe Carol, and then we have address. She comes from maybe let's say North Carolina. Next, let's say course is digital marketing. Next is results. Maybe let's say results, she's gotten first class, like that. So the next student is, let's just enter details for 2 students. The next one is enter table data again. Next one will be maybe let's say Brian, table data, Brian, and then the name, or the serial number is 2, not serial number is 2, and then the name is Brian. Brian comes from South Carolina. South Carolina. And then the course is maybe she's doing web design, and then what she's gotten is maybe let's say second class. So when we come and see what you've done, this is what we have. See that? So it's actually, there's no actually good alignment, because you see it's HTML. So we will do the alignment and the beauty things with CSS. So this is the heading, and then this is the data. So that's the table. Next we do now the navigation bar, and now we start CSS. So we have navigation bar .html. So still we activate the tags, and then here just call it navigation bar. like that. So the navigation bar, we use lists. So in this time, let's use another list. So UL, then inside we enter list items. The first list item is home. The next one, list item is about. The next one, the list item is maybe services. The next one, the list item is products. The next one, the list item is maybe, let's say, blog. And then the next one is contact. So let's break the lines so that everything is aligned properly. Tag is just BR, and then you press enter, like that. So when you come here and then you open, so this is what you will have. See that? But it doesn't have any alignments, maybe any nice alignments. So now that's what we have. And then we have some special characters, like if I want to make a text bold, let me just go back to paragraphs. If I want to make a text bold, I want to make a text italicized, I want to underline, things like those ones. So let's say I want to make this text bold, so I'm just going to copy it, cut, and then write the tag B. That's the tag for bold. If I want to make it italics, I, bold. If I want to underline, U, enter. So if I enter the text there and then I just come back to paragraphs, so let's see, paragraphs, these are paragraphs, so we see that. So we will have the bold, they are in italics, and then there is it's underlined. So those are kind of special characters. So before I forget, actually this is very important, media, things like images, things like videos, and then YouTube video, how do you embed them? So we're just going to do that real quick, and then we can move to the CSS part. So media.html. So media, those are images, things like video, and then things like a YouTube video. How do you embed that? So we just say media. So so first, before you do anything, let's move some video or maybe some images to maybe, let's move some video. Let's start with this one. Let's move this one to our this point. Okay, that is it, not that one. So let's just go back. Okay, it's supposed to be here, so it's here. So it's copying. As it copies, we move for next. Okay. So that's it. So let's check some more images. You just go to, actually you can follow along, you can just add your own images. Let me check the downloads images I have here, like this one. Let me cut this, just use one. Okay, so we have an image there. Then next is we have a video and then YouTube video, so that's okay. So once you paste them there, when you come back to the VS Code, you will see them. They are here. This is the video, then this is the image. So we're just going to rename this image. So we just click on it and then you right click and then you come here to rename. So we just call it maybe image, and then this one we're just going to call the video. We rename the video and then we call it video, like that. So it is easier to work with it. So when you want to attach an image, the tag is img, like that. So src, this is where you enter the name of the image. So the image name is image, so just write image. So it's going to come and then you select. So once you enter the image, you can choose to specify the dimensions if you like. So next is video. The tag is video. You just enter the name video. So when you enter a video, you will realize that when you view, this is the image, and then the video is really huge, and actually it's not even playing. So we're just going to change some things here. So first, let's make the video small. We enter the dimensions width. Maybe let's enter the width of 640 px, and then height of 320 px. So let's come back and refresh. So you see, it's an image, it is not a video. So how do we make this a video? It's actually, when we were embedding it, it was a video. So our image is also here. It's really beautiful, and I didn't want to resize this because it is in portrait. So when I resize it, it's going to be really weird. I didn't want to resize this. So but we can add an image that is in landscape, so we can resize. So for this one, this is in landscape, so we're just going to resize. This is a video actually. So how do we make it a video? So we come here at the end of this one, and then we add the words controls, these ones. So these ones are going to bring the controls of our video. So the controls, things like the play button, we have things like what do we call it, the play button, the voice, the play speed, and what have you. So let's just come back and see how it's looking. You see, now it's a video. So it has the volume button, it has this one for expanding, it has this one, playback speed, picture in picture, and then it has this one. So if you want it to play, you see that, so it's actually playing. So now that's how you do for a video. So now the next one is YouTube video. How do you embed a YouTube video on your HTML website? So the tag is iframe. Then now let's head to YouTube and get one video there. So we just go to YouTube. Okay, it's actually loading. So we are here on YouTube. So let's see, we just want to pick one video, just one video. Let's say this one, if it's going to copy. Okay, actually it has so much noise, so let me just do that. So when you want to embed this particular video, so you see this link here, so we're just going to copy that link, and then come to our VS Code, and then we paste the link inside here. So the link, the way it looks, it's not going to play. If you play this video, it's not going to play. So you have to make some adjustments. So what adjustments do you make? So we come here to this particular link. There is this word watch, there's the question mark, then there is V, and then there is equal sign. So I'm going to delete starting from the question mark, no, from the equal sign, sorry. So I'm just going to delete until I finish the word watch, and then I will replace that with embed, EMBED, like that, and then I add a /. and then I'm just going to specify the dimensions of this video. Let me give it 614 640 px is pixels, and then the height, I want to give it a height of 320 pixels, like that. So when I come to my media and I refresh, come to my media and I refresh, here's my video. See, it's actually playing. You see that? So it's playing. That's how you embed a YouTube video on your website. So we're actually done with the HTML part. So now we want to move to CSS. Actually, CSS is actually the interesting part. So for the CSS, actually very interesting. So I'm just going to move to the CSS. Okay, so next, come here to let's now talk about navigation bar. So in HTML, navigation bar is actually very simple. So let me just open this part here. So let me close this one so we can actually work with navigation bar only. So let me just, so we have here navigation bar.html. so I'm just going to activate the tags, and then here I have navigation bar. Then when I come in here, we are going to use lists, so we'll have another list, and inside we'll have a list item, and then enter, and then inside the list item we have a link. So the tag for a link is a. So here between the quotation marks, that's where you add the link. I'll show you how to do that later in our subsequent tutorials. So here, this is where you write maybe home, then next have list item, that. Here is where you write about us. Next, list item. Here is where you write services. No, actually I missed. It's not the place. This is the place. Yeah, this is where you write services. List. Yeah. This is where you write products and services. So I'm just adding the pages, but you are going to do that according to how your pages look. Then here I have maybe something like blog. Next I'll have something like contact us. Yeah, something like that. Just a simple navigation. So this is just HTML. So when you open this, this is what you have. It's actually in terms of links, so we'll just add the links inside as we progress. So that's the navigation bar in HTML. So we will cover CSS in depth when we just start covering it. So Flexboxes, this one will cover it in CSS. We've done a simple table. We've also done a simple form in HTML. So we'll also be going through that as we move with CSS. But now let's start on CSS. So with CSS, we have two types of CSS. We have internal and external CSS. So Let's just open this one for paragraphs.html and use it. So for this one, if we want to use internal CSS on this one, I'm just going to show you what that is. Let me just delete everything, start again, shift 1, and then I add here paragraph like that. So let's just have three paragraphs, and then we can have the paragraphs. Let me just get the paragraphs. We had the paragraphs. Okay, my internet, let me just put it on internet. So let's just pick like these three. Let's take this one, it's number 1. We paste it in here. Yeah, number 2 is this one here. And then number 3 is this one here. Yeah, number 3 is this one here. So we have 3 paragraphs. So let's do some internal CSS, and then later we will do external CSS. So if we are using internal CSS, we just do the styling inside here. After the title, you add style tag like that, and then you start doing your styles. So we'll just style the paragraph. The tag for paragraph, as we said, is P, so we just enable the curly brackets, and then we do something like margin, maybe margin 0. Maybe we have something like okay, let's do margin 10 instead of margin 0. Margin 10 pixels. Let's have padding 10 also, well, 10 pixels. Let's have a font family. Let's use Gilsons. That's our font family. Let's have a font size. Let's have a font size of 30. Yeah, let's have text align. Let's text align with justify. Then let's have a color that's black, like that. So we can as well have some paragraphs also. Let's have some heading 2. Let's say this paragraphs for our website. Yeah, we are assuming that is our heading 2. We can also have H2 here. I'm just showing you how to do a styling for using internal CSS. And we have this part here, so we have font family as well. So this one, let's go with sans serif, and then we have font size 50 px. Let's have text align. Let's align this to the center, and then let's have color red like that. Good. So next, let's do the body. So body, let's give it a margin 0. Let's as well give it a padding 0, and then let us give it background color that is maybe bisque, this one. So when we come here and then we just see what we've done, so this is what we have when we open in browser. So you see, so this is the heading, so this is the first paragraph, this is the second paragraph, then this is the third paragraph. So we just did internal CSS. So let's try and do external CSS, so you can understand the difference between internal CSS and external CSS. So with the external CSS, you must have a CSS file that is linked or to the HTML file. So we'll come here and then create one. So this is one, and then we're just going to delete everything here so we don't have things there. So we are going to transfer these tags to the other place. So we just come here and then we copy the styles up to this point, we cut it and then we remove style. And then since we already have the CSS file, we're just going to link here. We just write link here and then we write paragraph. It is here, we pick it. So we open the CSS file and then we copy, we paste everything there. So for us to know if it's working or not, let's just change some things around here so we know it's working. So let's change the body and then just change the heading to black and then the body to something like yellow. So when we come to HTML, okay, let's come to this one and refresh. You see, it's actually working. So that is internal CSS, or internal CSS and external CSS. Okay, how about now if I want to style this paragraph differently. Let's say I want to style paragraph 1, 2 and 3 differently. So how do I do that? So now we move to the next thing that we call divisions. So a division is going to allow you to style anything in a different way, or maybe elements on your website in a different way. So let's come here. So in these divisions they have classes. So let's check this paragraph, cut it and then enter division. Let's give this division a class called okay, let's just go step by step. So that's the division, paste the paragraph inside and then give this division a class called paragraph 1. Let me not use some shortcuts here because I want you to understand. So div, next we have class. Let's give it a class. Let's call this paragraph 2 and then this one okay, let's move this here, or alternatively let's just do this. So we have the last division is here, so we give this a class and then we have paragraph 3 like that. So we have paragraph 1, paragraph 2 and paragraph 3. So now you realize that these ones are divisions and with classes. So when we come to our CSS file, okay, now since we've learned internal and external CSS, I now want us to use internal CSS for our styling. So we just do style here. So the beauty with internal CSS is that as you style, you're seeing your HTML file, so you don't have to go anywhere, you're just doing it here. So when we want to style a division, we use dot and then the name of the division. So this division here, the class is dot paragraph 1. So let's do some styling here. So for paragraph 1, let's do styling as let's do font family. Let's do maybe that one, and then font size let's do 22px, and then color let's do dark, maybe dark green. So we'll just be changing some things around here. for paragraph 2 and 3. So we have dot paragraph. Okay, instead of hustling and typing things, so you just come here and then you copy the division, the class, and then you just ensure consistency. You come here, you copy the styles, then come here, we paste. So here we just change this part, maybe we do blue. Next we have dot, we have paragraph 3, you just copy the name of the class like that, paste it here. And then next we copy the styles here, then we paste them inside here like that. So once we paste them there, so we change this one, we can give it maybe that color there, and we will have our division. So when we open our paragraph and then we refresh, so this is what we have. So you see this is different color, this is different color, and this one also is a different color. You see that? So this is what divisions do. This is what divisions do. So that is a division. So now, since we've covered division, let's now progress and cover Flexbox. What is a Flexbox, and how do we create one? So let me just show you what a Flexbox is on this website. So you see these paragraphs. So this is a Flexbox. These are Flexboxes. You see, so these paragraphs are aligned in terms of Flexbox. We can design something like this in our Flexbox. So this is an image, just like any other image. These ones here, they are headings, just like any other heading, and then we have a paragraph here. We can do something like this. I know you are saying, let's do this, it looks good, so I'm going to listen to you. So let's do this. Okay, first we're going to get these images. So there is a tool on your computer that we normally use to get images. If you try to get these images and you feel like they are not coming, like this one is saving as a web page. If you try to right click the image, it is saving as a web page. So let's try and get different images, these images using a different tool. So we have a tool we call snipping tool. So you can come on this start button and then come to the search bar, then just search snipping tool. I'm not using any shortcuts here because I want you to get the process. So it's here. So we're going to use once it comes in, you're going to use you choose which type of snipping you want. If it's this is the snipping mode, you can choose rectangle. You can if you want to do a screenshot, you can just do full screen or window. So I'm going to minimize this part. So now let me pick the snipping tool again, and then just click. Once you select this one and then you click new, it's going to change the feel of the screen. So let's pick this one. Okay, that's the first image. So we're just going to we can decide to save it, or you can decide to leave it because it has saved itself in the screenshots. But since we want to work fast, we're just going to save it. Just call it image 1, or maybe image 4. So we are going to change where we save it and just save it in our folder, the folder we're using for this class. This is the folder, so we save it here, save it there. So once you do that, you just click here, new again. So you pick this one like that. So next you save it. This one will save it as image 5. image 5, that, and then again we click new, then we pick this one again. So we pick this one, we call this image 6. So we have the images. We already have the images. Now we're going to move to actual designing this part. So let's get the actual colors of this particular place. So let's pick this particular part because we need this color code. So we're just going to export this to Canva so we can get the actual color code. So I'm just going to open my Canva account, canva.com. So we want to get the actual colors so we can work with real colors. So okay, I'm just going to open let me just open one design here, and then we can export the colors. Okay, so let me just open one design here. Okay, this one. Okay, now let me upload the image. So it is in under pictures, screenshots. This is the image I need the color codes for. So I'm just going to export it to this point like that. So I now want to click on this background and then just select. I want to say that I want to use the photo colors. You see, now the color code is this one, F3 F3 F3. That is the color code for this particular one. So we have a color code F3 F3 F3. So we can write that down. So let us write it in Canva here. So we curve, let's use this one, F3, it is hash. Okay, hash F3 F3 F3. So the next one is the next color code, which is the next. I don't think we have any other. So this one is just F. Then the color for this button. So let's snip the button as well. Let us snip the button as well. So let's bring it in here. Can still just do Control V and then it will import it. So let's pick the colors of the button. We want this particular yellow, it's FEB 506. So we duplicate this. So it's hash FEB 506. Yeah, that's the color code. This is the color code for this one. So this is the color code for the white, then this is for the orange, then this other one is just black. So now let's get to work now for the Flexbox. Let's come here and just delete everything and then start afresh. Activate the color code. No, not the color code. Flexbox. Okay, so now let's get to work. Let's be using the real website now. So we have an image here, and then we have apart from the image we have a heading, and then we have a paragraph. So this is the first box, second box, third box. So we're just going to go in and then do division for the entire thing. and then this division we're just going to call it, we go to give it a class Flexbox, like that, because it's the main Flexbox with everything. So inside this one we're just going to give another division, and then this division will give it a class Flexbox 1, then we will create another division again. This one will give it a class Flexbox 2, next we'll give this a class, and then we call this Flexbox 3, like that. So we have Flexbox 1, Flexbox 2, and Flexbox 3. So in Flexbox 1 we have an image, so we'll start with img. We're going to give our image a name. So when we move here, we'll see the images, they are here, we are already imported inside our particular folder, so we just give it image 4 there. So next we have a H, it can be a H2, so just go back and copy the H2. This is the H2, so just pick it, and then we come here and we paste. Next we have paragraph. We come here, and then we copy the paragraph up to there, then we go back and then we paste it in there. So that's the first part. So the second part is we have an image as well. We're just going to do image 5, and then we have H2. This is the H2, so we paste the H2 in there. So let's maximize our working space. So next is the paragraph, so we pick the paragraph that way. Okay, so the third is an image as well, so it's image 6, and then we have a heading. Just go to the heading and then pick the heading. So let's try to move this one here just for the time being, like that. Oh, this one needs to be here. So, okay, and then the very last paragraph, it's covered, so let's, okay, we've copied everything. So now let's come here and do P, like that. So we now have the first division, the second division, and the third division. So okay, now so now it's now the styling part. So we come here and then we do style. So first we do dot flexbox for the main division, for the main class, the main flexbox. So this one we just do display flex, like that, display flex. So when we just open, you see it's already aligned the way we want, but it's not done, like everything is not in line the way we want. So we still have to do the alignment, the text alignments for the paragraphs and this particular text, you see. So we're just going to go back and continue doing some alignments. So next is let's do an alignment for Flexbox. Okay, let's try align items. align items to the center. Let's try to align items to the center. We will be doing some adjustments as we check. So you see, every alignment that we do, it actually changes stuff. So it looks like the image so we need to work with individuals. So let's just come to the next one, dot flexbox 1. Let's try align. Okay, let's do text align center. Let's check that. See, you see, so it's text align that works everything. So let's come here and then do text align, text align, text align center. Let's see that. Yeah, so text align center actually does everything for us, so we actually don't need to align them. So let's just work with on this one. Let's work with the margin and the padding. So margin, let's try margin 100 px. Let's also try padding 100 and see. Actually, I've not checked the back end of that WordPress to see what the margin and padding is. I'm just trying to gaze around here and see. And then we have font. Okay, like that. So let's actually also do alignment for H2. So H2, let's do a font family. Font family actually is supposed to be something like let's see. Okay, let's try that and see what happens. Yeah, actually Roboto works. Actually Roboto works. So it's H2 is Roboto, the font is Roboto, and then let's do a font size. Okay, font size, let me see how it looks first. Okay, so let me change the margin and the padding. I think it's affecting everything. So margin 50, padding also 50. Let's try that and see. And then let's move away from the font size for H2. See how everything is right now. Okay, looks good. So we're just going to work on the same for Flexbox 2 and Flexbox 3. We just duplicate this. So Flexbox 2 is also going to have the same. And then Flexbox 3. Like that. And then now let's style the paragraph. So the paragraph is paragraph. So let's give the paragraph a font family. Let's give it Roboto as well, and then let's give it a font size of 18 pixels. Yeah, so let's give it a line height also of 2 pixels or 2 em. That. So let's try to check how it is right now. So this is your Flexbox. This is how it looks. Yeah, so now let's reduce okay, let's try and reduce the margin and the padding. Let's give it let's give them a margin, or maybe let's change the margin to something like 30 for all of it. 30 for each of them. So let's see. Yeah, so this is how it looks. So this is how it looks. So now let's add the background color and the color of these particular ones. Let's give them a color for each. Each of them has a color, so it has a background color of, let's give it a color code. So it's hash FFF for each of them. So background color, this one as well, FFF. Next, background color, FFF. So that's the background color for each of them. Then let's give a color for the body. So body, remember it was F3. So that's the background color. Hash F3. So let's try this one and see. Okay, the margin is too broad, so let's try and reduce the margin a little bit. Okay, the margin is too big, so let's do margin 20 for each of them. Margin 20 for each of them, and see. Not bad. So this is what we've done, and this is the original. This is what we've done. Actually, this is gray. The color for H2 is gray. Let's just change the color. Text color is gray. Color gray. Yeah, so you see, it's actually very easy. You can actually work on it. It's gray. So that is it, and you're done, man. See that? Very easy. So your Flexbox is done. Next, let's so the next one is the button. So the button is just an easy one. You just come here at the end of the division, and then you just enter. You can do a division also for the button, then you give it a class, just call it a button, then come here and then you just enter button, and then inside just enter button. Then the button text is learn more like that. So when we come to the CSS part, we just style the button, color. Let's start with color. It was hash FEB 506. That's the color. Next, text align center. Next, text align center, and then font family. We can do Roboto as well. Font size, we can do something like 20 px. Then the font weight, can do bold, yeah, like that. So when we come, then we refresh, the button is there. So we just need to bring it to the center, then change some stuff here and there. So let's do dot button for the class and see text align center. See how that goes. That is what you needed. So the text is picking the color for the background, so we just go to change that color. Is this one is supposed to be black, and then this is background. Okay, this is background color. Background color is the one that is supposed to be FEB 506. It's the background. So when we refresh, so this is our button, you see. So it's actually very easy to do. So we can also remove the border. Just come here, then you do borderless, or maybe just do border, you do 0 pixel like that, yeah. Border radius. Okay, border radius is something different, so just border first. Border style, none. You see that? Yeah, border style is none. So we can work around with padding and margin and all that stuff. So just come here and then do padding. Padding for the button, we can do 10 px like that. Let's see what that, yeah. So we are moving somewhere. So you see, it's actually very easy to design a Flexbox. You just move systematically. So this is what we've designed, and this is the original. This is what we've made. This is the original. Actually ours is a little bit bigger and more beautiful, you see. So that is it, and your Flexbox is done. So next we are going to do, since we've done internal CSS, we've done external CSS, we've also covered We have also covered internal CSS, external CSS. We have covered Flexbox. Now let's cover something different. Let's do a tables. So let's go to our VS Code and just see tables. We created a HTML one. So actually we had started doing the table here, just that we had not entered a lot of details. So what we are going to do is we had entered only details for 2 students. So what we will do is we will just try to duplicate the details so that they are covering at least maybe let's say students like 5 or maybe 6, something like that. So let's just try and copy and paste the details. So just try and copy and paste the details for the students. So that we have at least a considerable number of students. So I've just copied and pasted. I've not done anything special, just copied and pasted. So I'm going to go to the CSS part where we want to do the styling. Just want to remove everything here, so we start fresh. So as usual, we have the style tag and then we start the table. So first we are going to style the table row. We're going to style the table header and the table data at the same time. So these we are going to give them a border of 2px. We are going to give them the type of the border will be solid, then the color of the border will be dark blue, like that. And then we are going to give we're going to collapse the borders, border collapse. We are going to do collapse. Then the next style will be for the table. We want the table to fill the entire screen of our computer or maybe of our laptop. So we're going to do width, which is 100%. So the next part is actually very easy. So ours is just to style the header. So we just do the header is table header. So the height, we have a height that is 40px for our table. We have padding that is 20px. We have a background. We have a background color. Have a background color that is black. We have a color. So the color is for the text. Then the background is black. The color is going to be white. So we have a font size. Okay, font size, which is 22px. We have a font family, Gill Sans, yeah, what have you. So we have that. So let's collapse this so we have enough space for working. So the next one, we want to style the table data so that our table data also is styled in a way that is adorable. So we're going to go height. So we go 40 pixels. So we go text align. So let's go back a little bit. Text align, we're going to go center. Then we go font family. Font family, we go Gilson's. So color, go black. Color black. Font size is 14px. So that's for the table data. So the next one, we want to add a hover effect. On our table rows. So we want, when we hover over our table, we want it to have a background color of aqua. Okay, up to there. That's what we have. So let's see what we have. So this is what we will have when we hover over this page. This is what we will have. Yeah, so this is our table. This is how it is looking. It's not looking bad. Or I just duplicated these details, but in case you have details that you want to enter here, it's actually going to be more and more beautiful. So that is for the table. So next is we've done a table. So now next, let's do a form. As we progress, we've done quite a lot, but we're progressing well. So we had actually finished the forms, the HTML part. So we just want to do the CSS one. This is our form. We actually made some adjustments, but okay, let's just begin for you to grasp everything. So we activate the tags, and then we write a form, and then we come inside the body. So we will start with the heading H1. So inside the H1 we write contact us, and then next we will add a horizontal line. Next we will add a division. After the division we will add a form. Then after the action we will add method. Then the method will be get. When people enter their details, they will prompt you to get them. So label. So the label here is first label, first name. Input is text. You can as well also add things like name, first name. You can also add things like placeholder, enter first name here. So next is label again, label. So let's do last name here, last name. Input is still text, but let's add some more things. Name, last name. Then let's add a placeholder. Enter your last name here. Next, let's add an email address. So label, email address, and then we have input. Input should be now email. Then we change name, email. Then we add placeholder, enter your email address here. So next is telephone number label. Telephone number. So input tell name, telephone number, and then placeholder. So placeholder is that text that tells people what to do in that input box. Enter your telephone number here. So that is it. Next, so we have input. Actually, we want to do now the text area, so it's supposed to be label first. So let's name this comments, the comment area. So input should be, actually this one we don't do input, we just do text area. Text area like that. So in here you can add columns for width 30 px or just 30, and then rows 10. This is now the dimensions for the columns and the width. You can also add a placeholder. Tell people please enter your comments here, like that. So that's the HTML part of the form. So let's go to the CSS style. Let's go to the style sheet of the form now. But before that, this form of ours does not have a submit button. I just realized it does not have one. So let's add one. Let's add one submit button. So we are going to do it inside the division. So this division of ours, we're going to give it an ID, then call it div2, like that. So we'll have an input. Actually, submit button is also an input. Submit. Then we can actually give it a name, just name it submit, and then we can also give it value submit. You see that? So that's actually the HTML part of the form. So let's move to the CSS real quick. So inside the CSS we'll just do style here, and then we start. So the body, you can actually write body or just do the star like that, then enter the curly brackets. So margin is 0, padding is also 0, margin is 0, padding is 0, margin 0, padding 0, background color is light pink, and then we have a horizontal line, font family. Let's do a font family of Arial. Let's do a color. Let's do a color of dark red. Let's do padding left of 50 px. We also, okay, this is a HR. Let's do it it's supposed to be H1. Okay, now let's do HR now. First we will start with the border. Start with the border. So let's give it a 4px. The type is solid, and then the color is dark red. So that way. Okay, next is width. Let's do a width of 91%. Let's do a width of 91%, like that. So we are almost moving close to the next part of the form. We have width. Okay, looks like okay, this one's supposed to be, yeah, curly brackets. Width is 40%. Background color is pale violet red, this one. Enter the semicolon after every chord. Border radius is 15px. Padding is 20px. Margin left 50px. Next we have a label. So let's do font family. So we have Gilson's font family. We have color black. Then we have font size 18 pixels. So next, let's style the division. Of width 100%, and then display. Let's do a display flex. Display flex. So next, let's style the inputs. So input type text is the first one. So input type email. Input type tel. Then finally let's do the text area. Okay, so let's do width 100%. Let's do margin 8px 0. So when you see margin, two margins, this is for margin top and margin bottom. When they are for, it's top, bottom, left, right. So margin top, margin bottom, margin left, and margin right. So for this one, it is just margin top and margin bottom. So next is padding 12. 20px, that's the same thing. Top, margin padding top and padding bottom. So border radius 10px, box sizing, border box, then border should be 2 pixels, solid, and then black, like that. Okay, so like that. So the next part is the input type submit. Input type submit. No, this one should be the square brackets, like that. Then do that way. So the width submit button is going to be 30%. Background color is going to go dark red. I'm going to do color aqua. We're going to go font family, Gilsons. We're going to go font size, (18px), and then border radius 10px, padding 12px, 20px, margin 8px, 0px, and then box sizing is border box. So the next one is we're going to style the ID for the division. The submit button, we added it in division and then we gave it an ID. We called it division 2, the name of the ID. So we're going to style the that division. So div2. So display flex. So we have align items, should be center, justify content, also let's do center. So lastly, let's add a hover effect on our submit button. So we want it to have a background color of black when somebody is hovering it, and then we want the color of the text to go white when somebody is hovering over our form. So let's see what we've done. So this is what we have so far. Not bad, right? Yeah, so this is what we have. Okay, now let's talk about the navigation bar. Okay, we have two types of navigation bars. We have a navigation bar that is simple navigation bar, and then a navigation bar that has a drop down. So for the simple navigation bar, let's start with the simple navigation bar. So after creating your file navigation bar.html, you activate the tags by holding shift 1, and then you change the title here to a simple navigation bar. Simple navigation bar, like that. Navigation bar. So inside the body, now let's talk about the HTML part. So the HTML part, it has to be nav. I had the nav tab, and then, or alternatively we can just have something like this, another list, and then inside the another list we have a list item, and then inside the list item we have the link. So we are going to give our link an ID. This one we're going to give it an ID. So the name of the ID is going to be item, and then between this href, the tags, we're going to give it a hash sign. So after that, we're going to give this point is going to be home. This is going to be home, and then we'll have about us, and so on and so forth. So we're just going to duplicate this. So we have list item, and then we have a like that. So here, give it a hash, and then we give it an ID. So I'm going to do 2, and then I'll fast forward. So okay, just, it's not supposed to be there, it's supposed to be here, this point. It's supposed to be here just before A, then we have about. So I'm just going to duplicate this. When you want to duplicate, I have how many pages? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5 pages. So I'm just going to duplicate it 3 more times. So I'll hold shift on my keyboard and the alt key, and then I move with the page down arrow. So I'm just going to hit it 3 times. 1, 2, 3. So again, I hold shift, alt, and the page down arrow on the keyboard. So, and then I duplicate. So I'm just going to change this one here to services, maybe products first, and then services. Services. Services, and then lastly I have contractors. So lastly I have contractors, like that. So this is what you do on the HTML part. So we're just going to go to the CSS part. So inside the CSS part, since this one is just a simple navigation bar, we can decide to do internal CSS. So we're just going to come here at the title, and then we add the style tag, like that. So we start with the body, and then we enable the curly brackets. So we have a margin 0, we have a padding 0, we have a background color that is aqua, like that, and that's aqua. So we'll style an order list. We'll style another list. So we have list style. List style is none, and then we have margin 0. We have padding 0. We have background color. Let's do brown, like that. So next, let's style the list item. the list item. So we are styling the list item, so we're going to do a float. So let's float to the left, and then we do a border right, so 2 pixels, solid white. Okay, so next let's style another list, the list item and the link at the same time. So inside this we have display. So display is going to be a block. Display is going to be block. Display block. So color, let's do color white, and let's do text align. Center, text align center. Let's do padding 14px, 16px. We have text decoration. We have none, and then we have a font family. We can pick a font family of something like font family. Let's just pick maybe Gilsons, and then we have a font size of 18 pixels. So the next thing we're going to do is we want to add a hover effect, list item, and then the link. So we want it to hover like this, background red, like that. So let's try and see what we have here. Okay, so just the hover effect that is not working, so let's see about that. Oh, okay, it's a hover effect, so we need to add here a column, and then we add hover like that. So when we come back and refresh, it's supposed to work actually. So this is how it is.